Hey, as you may know, I threw out my back on Thursday when I was getting ready for my presentation at the One Voice conference. I was trying to straighten up my room and I was just trying to push the Murphy bed into the wall, and all of a sudden, my gosh, my lower back tensed up and my muscles froze, and they haven't unfrozen since. So I've been kind of bedridden most of the weekend, trying to stumble my way back and forth to the bathroom and to join my wife and watch the Eurovision Song Contest. But it was tough, and it's still tough. But thank goodness I'm able to get up and into my office chair in which I'm now, because I was able to take part in the One Voice conference in a virtual way. And it's so good to be connected to my friends in London, many of whom I've known for such a long time, and to be able to take part in a conference right here from my office in Vermont. It's amazing what technology can do. And thank you for everybody who participated in this conference and for those who made it possible, because my gosh, this is such a technological feat in the first place. I mean, to manage so many rooms and so many computer screens and to be able to broadcast this virtually using the re-attendance platform, it was fantastic. And I remember there was one point in my presentation where we lost the connection with one of the computers that was transmitting my talk for 10 minutes, but within 10 minutes, it was all fixed. It was all done again. It was just remarkable how you guys did that. And I'm in such awe of how you managed to pull this whole thing off. And then, of course, there was the content. It was phenomenal. I mean, sometimes you feel that you get shortchanged because you're not there in person. But the great thing is that most of the presentations are online, available for people to watch, not only during the event, but also after the event. And if you sign up for future conferences, I believe that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that you also have access to all the other presentations, including the keynote speeches from previous conferences. And this is their 6th year. So that's a whole collection of inspirational talks, which is, I think, a phenomenal value. Anyway, for me, it was the perfect distraction I needed from my pain, because I think that as long as you're not concerned about your pain and you focus on something else, you don't feel it as much. And I had such a good time listening to all the inspirational talks and seeing all the friends and people that I've made, friends that I've made in the past years. And I was listening the other day to some key people who hire voice talent in Europe. And I want to tell you about them, because what most of them had in common was an intense dislike for those slick, overproduced demos coming from the United States. Now, based on their experience, and it's their experience only, they say that most voice actors cannot live up to the quality demonstrated in those doctored demos. As soon as they're back home, you can hear that they don't have the same equipment, they're not in the same space, and they don't get the same direction. So the demo gives kind of a false impression of what they're capable of. It's kind of false advertising. So what are these people who hire voice actors actually listening for if it's not your demo? Well, they will listen to your custom auditions. If they like your audition, you'll be invited for a read for a casting director to see how easy you can take direction. And these days, thank goodness, after COVID, this read might happen in person, but it's often online as well through a Zoom connection, whatever it is, but you'll be able to connect with the casting director in person to see how well you respond to direction. So this means that the emphasis is going to be more and more on your acting skills and your flexibility. They're looking for people who can feel the script, who can be real instead of pretend. And why is this so important in these days? Because it's one of the only ways you and I will be able to distinguish ourselves from the AI-generated voices. Your performance is going to be key in booking jobs and in having a sustainable future in voiceover. Because, these voices are getting better and better. But before you're getting too afraid of AI, remember, synthetic voices have no charisma. They produce consistent quality without ever needing a break or a pay raise. But, and it's a very big but, they are unable to surprise and make people laugh, right? Have you ever laughed after hearing a computer voice? No, they cannot act and they cannot improvise. They simply reproduce sound in a way that's getting more and more convincing. From what I've heard, by the way, the casting people don't care so much about the pristine audio quality of your audition. If you record your audition in, let's say, a rainy field on a mobile phone, but you manage to move the listener, that's more important than your sound quality being studio perfect. But here's the thing, once you're hired, you are expected to deliver a quality product, professional audio. So don't think you can get away with an iPhone only. To get in the door, you want those who are responsible for hiring talent to drop their sandwich as they're eating lunch and say, well, we might as well stop looking for new talent because we found exactly what we need. And I call this the wow factor. If you can bring the wow factor to the table, you have a bright future in this beautiful business. Bye.